Yeah, hi everyone, how you doing? Welcome to today's call. I've got something really exciting for you. We're going to be talking about LinkedIn. You know the platform, but a lot of people don't know how to navigate it and how to make money from it. So we've got a specialist today on the call. His name's Vince, and he's come to be with us all the way from New Zealand. So really excited
Hey,
about that. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are, Vince.
hey,
Great to have
thanks
you
for
on the
having
call.
me, Dan. I love the way you set the premise for this by going, we've got something really exciting. And then you said LinkedIn, and everyone immediately went, wait, is it exciting or is it LinkedIn? Like, seriously. Yeah. Now, awesome to be on here, man.
Yeah. So LinkedIn, incredibly busy platform, a
Yeah.
lot happening, but I don't think a lot of people know how to navigate it, how to harness it. So hopefully you're going to give us some tips as to
Hopefully,
how
yeah.
to make money from it.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're spot on, man. And I think the reason that people don't utilize it enough or don't really understand how to use it enough is the elephant in the room, which is that if you're ever on LinkedIn for more than 5 minutes, your inbox is probably filled with spam, filled with people going, hey, I've got the exact offer for you. And it's usually something that's nothing related to you whatsoever. Because there's this weird thought that you can just do a numbers game on LinkedIn and just, if you spam 10,000 people and you get 3 people biting, then that's a good thing, not realizing that you've also then put off 9,997, who now hate you because you're a spammer. so,
Yeah.
so a lot of people kind of steer clear of it because they don't really know how to use it. They don't know how to get the visibility, and they see the dodgy practices that happen out there before as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. Just by way of an intro then, Vince. So you do a lot of business on LinkedIn, right? So you've got a
Yep.
consultancy, social media consultancy, I think it was it, or
It's actually oh man, I do so many things. I was the chief marketing officer at Cigna up until January 2020. What year are we now? Yeah, 2020. And left there. I'd kind of been in and out of corporate world and entrepreneurship, and I created and sold a number of companies. Ended up at Cigna, but kind of threw that all in. They all thought I was mental, throwing in a obscenely well-paying job to go, you know what? I need to focus on my next chapter, which is literally writing my next book. So I'm a published author, and there's a book that I'm writing at the moment that I genuinely think is going to impact so many different people. So that was the plan. Leave Cigna, work on the book. That then morphed into 2 books. So I'm writing 2 at the same time, plus 2 children's books, because I think I'm insane. Plus launching a podcast. So I've got a marketing podcast where I talk to like some of the best marketers, salespeople, and entrepreneurs in the world and gain their insights, etc. But then I accidentally found I was a marketing strategist and coach, because, like people found out, hey, you're not at Cigna. Now you got time on your hands. Help. So I came in and helped them out, especially through a pandemic. And that's when I discovered my kind of love of helping people and my love of helping businesses to kind of stand out in a crowded market and to, in a lot of cases, pivot, especially during a pandemic where all these bricks and mortar stores, all these kind of face-to-face businesses suddenly found, I have no revenue. Got all the same overheads. I've got no revenue. Help. So I got to go in there and help them to transition, help them to make changes, help them to realize what they actually do offer to their customers and clients. And then, yeah, I get to help them to scale it by doing marketing. So social media is a part of it, but in reality, it's the full spectrum of digital. Digital is my area of expertise. I've been a digital marketer for around 20 odd years. But also into brand marketing, content marketing, all that kind of stuff. It all goes hand in hand, really. So
nice.
I figure you can't be in the industry for 20 years without picking up a couple of things or 2.
That's it.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So let's kind of talk about LinkedIn. So the demographics are really good, aren't they? So you're looking at
Yep.
professionals, people who've got money to spend,
Yep. And decision makers is the big key as
decision
well.
makers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
And
know
this
there's a
this is
lot going
probably,
on. Sorry?
yeah. I was going to say, this is probably one of the biggest things as well that people miss about the opportunity on LinkedIn is on Facebook, you're connecting with consumers. Great. And that can work really, really well for you, same as Instagram and some of these other platforms. But with LinkedIn, you get to research exactly who you want to talk to. So if you're offering, for example, actually one of my clients, they're a chiropractor that they go into corporates, into large companies and do chair massages. So that was their business. And I was like, okay, pandemic hit and they went, oh, everyone's working from home. No one's going in the office now. So I can't really go around everyone's home. It's not profitable. Plus you're not allowed to touch people. You're not allowed to get near people. So I kind of freaked out. So what I did with them is we transitioned their business. I said, look, take a step back, call 3 of your biggest clients and asked them this. But first I got them to go, what is it that you offer your clients? Like, why do you let in the door for a large corporate? And they went, well, because I do chair massages. I said, no one cares about that. The HR leader does not care that you do chair massages. They don't care that people's muscles are relaxed or whatever. What do they care about? Why do they let you in? And she went, well, they've worked out that actually that relaxed people are productive people. I said, okay, so what do you offer a business then? Oh, I offer productivity. Exactly. So call them up, call the head of HR and say, look, I know that this is a really stressful time for your staff. I know that, with the pandemic, I can't actually come in and do what we used to do there, but I'm really concerned about their well-being. Is there a way I can do a group Zoom call and teach them how to relax, teach them how to breathe, teach them breathing exercises, teach them yoga, teach them whatever, just to help them with their anxiety and stress. I said, just call 3 of your clients and you'll be fine. And she came back to me and said, okay, well, I didn't call 3. And I went, oh, okay. And I was going to kind of, it's okay, we can do this, give her a bit of a rev up. She goes, I called every single one of them because I didn't get a single no. In fact, I didn't even get a yes. I got a hell yes. Please, we desperately need your help. And then for her, LinkedIn became the next kind of branch of that to go, well, if I'm talking to the head of HR, I can get that specific on LinkedIn. I can go, and she's not now limited to New Zealand. She can actually deal with anyone in the world. So start to pick some of these larger corporations and go, who is the head of HR in there? Because all of that information is in LinkedIn. You can do campaigns, you can do anything to target the exact position that you want within an organization. And then she connected with the right people, said, hey, I'm very concerned about your staff's well-being. I know you are too, but there's good news. We can do something about that. And then immediately she's got these calls with different people. And now she never wants to go back into an actual physical location. As she said, I never want to touch a client again. I just want to teach them all by Zoom. So,
Yeah.
But the specificity of it is so powerful. Like the fact that you can get right down to the exact person that you want to deal with. Bearing in mind, though, there is one caveat around that, which is sometimes people don't update their LinkedIn profiles very regularly. So just be aware of that, because if you're researching who's the head of HR for an organization, you might find 4 people. You've got to work out which one of those is currently at that organization. So, yeah.
Okay. So just to kind of clarify, so our business, which is ACS, it's more the kind of B2C. So we don't sort of go after, HR directors. We just go after anyone who, and I'd say the demographic is basically someone either looking for some extra income, side income. So either they're working 9 to 5 and they just need to have between $5,000 and $10,000 a month recurring. It's pretty passive stuff. Or alternatively, they want to retire. So they get to the age, they get to kind of maybe kind of mid 50s to mid 60s. They've worked all their lives and they just haven't got enough. They haven't set aside enough, which is kind of 95% of the world, I think.
Yeah,
They haven't set enough money. So I think possibly that could be one of the problems that we have, in as much as anyone is a potential target. So it's so wide.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. If you look at it through traditional demographic or sociographic kind of breakdowns, then yes, you're right. You have a broad spectrum.
Yeah.
But actually, you need to look at who is in that decision process. So who is it that is actually looking for a side hustle? Who is it that's looking for that additional income? And there are ways that you can kind of break that down, because what you need to do is go, okay, I need to get in the mind of this potential customer, or take one of your kind of best customers or a bunch of your best customers and go, right, these people here, they are exactly my target market, because they're the type of people I want to deal with. So then you reverse engineer these humans, you treat them as data, reverse engineer them and go, okay, before they made a decision for my product, what were they looking at? Like, what were their interests? Because I can tell you now, if people are looking to get into a side hustle, they don't just suddenly wake up and go, I need additional income. There's my solution. I'm going to buy that. They research this, or they start to follow people that are talking about these kind of things. So you need to do that research. And LinkedIn's beautiful for this, because you have so many articles on there talking about different aspects of that. So actually search for articles around like additional income, around, side hustles, all these kind of things. Search for those articles and then look at the interactions in there. Look at the people that are interacting, not just the people that are liking and things like that, but the people that are actually commenting, asking questions is the key. The people that are asking questions, that's your target market, not the person that posted the article, by the way, because they're probably trying to sell something similar to you.
Yeah.
But their audience is your audience. That's the one you want. So then you can start to connect with these, like compile a list of these different people, follow them, connect with them, and then we can talk about how to kind of convert them and how to deal with that in an ethical way, which is really, really important when we're talking about LinkedIn, by the way. But that's how to target those audiences. So you need to search for the content they're consuming. You need to search for the people that they're following. You need to watch that and then look at who's interacting with that. So yeah, so don't worry about the demographic breakdowns. I genuinely think there is a place for it. Like we talk about creating personas or creating, some people call it ideal customer avatars, like ICAs or PCAs, and there's a whole many different acronyms for it because that's what we do as marketers. But the reality is, it's forget the demographics. That has a place when you're doing targeted ads. Forget the sociographics. It does help. Really, you want the behavioral, you want more of the thinkographics, like getting in the head of the potential customer. What are they consuming? What are they liking? What are they commenting on? Like, what are the things that feed them? And then you want to become part of that feed. You want to become that dinner that they're eating, essentially.
Yeah, that's a really good tip, actually. So something to concentrate on, isn't it? So rather than being intimidated by this massive activity,
yeah,
you just do a little search, a bit like Facebook. I mean, some of the guys are au fait with Facebook. They know about the groups and the content, but this is a different, it's just got a different dynamic, different vibe, and people are really ripe for spending the money, and they're not going to be sort of messing you about. And also the other thing I'd say is our product, this is a bit of as an aside, but our product doesn't actually take payments from different nationalities. It just happens to be the case that we just don't take this is not me, this is the payment processor, like so PayPal and ClickBank. So if you want to kind of whittle down a bit, just look at some of the nationalities like Nigeria and Pakistan and all these sort of places. We just can't, as much as we'd like to sell the products to them, it's not going to happen. So just something else to kind of whittle down some of the demographics.
Well, that's one of the beauties of LinkedIn, is you can get that specific. You can filter it down by that, which is awesome.
Yeah.
The other thing I would say though, and this is kind of separate from what we're talking about here with LinkedIn, but just an important note. You're right. When you said it's a little bit overwhelming sometimes when you go to LinkedIn, and I found this, I think early days of dealing with LinkedIn, I found this as well. There's a huge amount of imposter syndrome that kind of kicks in when you're on this platform, because everybody looks like Facebook. You kind of see a bit of the rough and dirty of some people, because you're seeing people's personal lives and things. Instagram, you see the veneer, the kind of flashy, here's my food, here's my hashtag blessed life and all this kind of rubbish. But on LinkedIn, you see the very professional side of people, and that can actually be quite intimidating. But the thing to note, and really, really important note when you're on there, is when you're looking at these articles that seem so professional, when you're looking at these people sharing all this content, you're like, how can we compete with that? Those people are exactly the same as you. You've got as much right to be there as them, right? They probably are as riddled with self-doubt and imposter syndrome as all of you are. And actually just kind of take a step back and go, all of this is show. Like any platform you're on is just show. They're just people putting their best versions of themselves forward. And there's no reason why that should intimidate you at all. So I just want to say, like, when you're on there, don't feel like, I know you're going to feel it. You're going to feel that intimidation and go, oh my goodness, what if I do something wrong and I don't look professional? And trust me, we all do. Like, seriously, some of the stuff I put out there, I'm like, why did I do that? That's ridiculous, but it works. People connect with it. So yeah.
Nice one. Okay, so if we got into the kind of nitty gritty, so how do we network? How do we build a list, or whatever it is that we need to do? How do we go after the business?
Yeah, well, here's the trick, and this is the bit people miss. People always think social media is about algorithms. They think it is about, these like long convoluted processes and everything. But essentially, the way to think of any social media platform, but particularly LinkedIn, is just treat them like you would face to face. Like seriously, I'm gonna have a rant for a moment. Like the worst thing I ever see on LinkedIn, there's two extremes of this. Like the first is you get the people that come in hot and heavy. So they'll connect with you or they'll drop you a message and straight away it's, hi Vince, I see that you're into augmented reality. I have a company that is going to skyrocket your augmented reality and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going, first of all, when have I ever mentioned augmented reality? I personally have an interest in it, but I've never mentioned that publicly before. So this is just a blanket like message to everyone. Or they send you a message and go, hi, Vince, I know that we can benefit you and your business. I know that we can help you. So can you please answer these 30 questions so that I can best serve you? And I'm like, no, I'm not even answering one question. Who are you? Like, seriously. So there's that side of it, which is really easy because you look at that and you go, I'm just going to ignore that. And then there's the other side. And this is the one. Don't ever do this, please. When you're connecting with someone on LinkedIn or Facebook or anywhere, don't just drop in their messages and go, hi, how are you?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you haven't earned the right for that conversation. And the second you do that, you immediately, like, if you think about that for a moment, if someone came to you on LinkedIn and just said, hi, how are you? How do you answer that? Fine. Actually, I'm a bit tired today. Oh, I've got this rash on my foot. Or, like, oh, actually, a bit full
Just
from
block
dinner
'em.
last night. Yeah, like, how do you even answer that? You don't have a relationship yet to base that on.
Yeah.
So there's some important steps you need to take when you are engaging with people on LinkedIn. And the first overarching thing, right, as I said, is to make sure you're treating them like you would in real life. But the second principle, which is going to be the foundation of how you deal with people on LinkedIn or actually any network or in life, is add value first. Like, always look to how you can add value to people. And there's kind of two schools of thought with digital marketing. And I know I have this argument, and I won't name them, but some of my peers in the industry who are quite high profile digital marketers and things, we're constantly arguing about this point where they go, your whole objective as a marketer is to go in there and try and convert them as fast as possible. Like, get money, even low ticket items, doesn't matter. Just get that money as fast as possible, and then more money, more money, more money, more money from them. So convert them into a paying customer, like $9, $10, doesn't matter what. Make that transaction, and then from there, you take them up the value ladder. And I'm going, no, that's bollocks. And the reason it's bollocks is because all you're doing when you do that is you're making a customer. So a customer will come to you and go, okay, right, I've done this transaction with this individual or with this company. And if I'm happy with that, I might think about purchasing again, but I have no real reason to, or if I'm unhappy, I'll never deal with them again. So you've got this transactional customer. Whereas when you are adding value first, when you go in there and go, you know what? Like, I deal with this as a marketing coach. I give away far too much free, people tell me, but I will help people. I'll always jump on a free Zoom call with people if they're struggling, if they can't make sense of marketing. It's like, reach out, jump on a Zoom call. I will talk you through it. And I can tell you now that leads to so many sales. There are some people that will never convert, but the fact is, people appreciate you giving them something for free, appreciate you adding value to them, because then they're open to receiving from you. And countless times, like, it happened recently. There was just, unfortunately, there's a Facebook example, but you could translate this for LinkedIn. But on Facebook, there was a Facebook group that was there, and someone was having a challenge around some technology, some software and marketing, and they were going, oh, help, blah, blah, blah. So I answered that. And I just said, look, here's what I've found. If you do this, 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 and this, that should help you. Let me know if that didn't work, or if you need any clarification about that. I'm happy to jump on a Zoom call and chat with you, not selling you anything. That person never contacted me, by the way, but this woman who was setting off her own business, like, she was launching this new company, but she has no idea how to do marketing. She was like, I'm really, like, this is just overwhelming. She goes, I think I need to go into Facebook groups, or I need to go somewhere where I can find people that know what they're talking about. So she jumped into this Facebook group. She was scrolling through all the messages, and then she realized, wait, this Facebook group's specifically about YouTube. What am I, wrong one? She was going to leave, but she saw my comment. And it was this weird thing of going, this person is so freely giving help to somebody else, I'm going to take a chance. And she messaged me and said, look, I saw your message on here. I'm overwhelmed with marketing. Can I jump on a call with you and just get some kind of clarity? I said, absolutely, not a problem. So I gave her an hour of my time, talked her through how I would approach, because she was launching into a new arena, into a new industry. So I said, here's how I would approach this, and gave her 3 kind of starting points for that. And I almost finished the call and went, yeah, there you go. Let me know if you need anything else. And she goes, oh, well, before you go, what do you actually do? And I was like, oh, well, I'm a coach. I help people with this. I've got a group program coming up, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, okay, how much to get you as a coach? And I told her, and she went, okay, done. Where do I send the money? And I went, what just happened? Like, it shouldn't be that easy. But adding value first, the money will follow that. So it's really important principle when you're on LinkedIn. So if that's with those 2 principles, the next part of it is really, really easy. And that is, it's kind of a 4-step process. The first thing is, you need to show respect to the individual. And it sounds really weird, but what I mean by that is, you need to research them. So like I said, that example where they go, hey, you're obviously into AR, or, augmented reality, and I can offer something, blah, blah, blah. To me, that immediately went, I'm not going to engage with that person. They haven't even taken the time to know who I am or to know what I'm about. And a great example of this, I get so many bad examples of marketing on LinkedIn, but I had a masterclass on there, and I wish this was one that I did, but actually it was somebody marketing to me, and it was so well done. I said to him, I'm just stealing this and I'm telling everyone about it. And he goes, go for it. But I had this guy reach out to me, and he dropped into my, he connected with me first with a message. So always leave a message when you're connecting with someone. Don't just randomly connect. But he sent me this connection message, and he said, hi, Vince. I'd love to connect with you or add you to my professional network. I noticed that we have, so many different people in common, but also I really love the work that you did around XYZ. So he had basically looked at my profile. He'd gone through that. He had then researched me offline as well, in other areas, and seen a video that I did where I talked about, I think it was around imposter syndrome. And he was like, so reference that in there. So it made me immediately go, this person values me as an individual because he's taken the time to get to know me or to try to know me. So that was step one. The next step is really, really easy. That is now the adding value piece, because he, in that same message, so I connected with him. So he said, I'd love to connect. And I said, sure, not a problem. Then he came back and he said, hey, by the way, in addition to this, I've also loved the work you did around XYZ. And I've written a book that I would love to get your feedback on. If you're open to it, I'll send you a free copy. And now that's just his lead magnet, right? This is just a standard way that people use to kind of get you engaged with them and give permission for a two-way engagement. But it was so well done where I'm going, oh, a free book. Hell yeah, I'm in. Then I went, oh, wait, I'm just being marketed to. You know what? I don't care. This is really good. So first step was respect. The second step was adding value. And he sent me a copy of this book. A few days later, obviously the book arrived. He tracked and traced it. The book arrived, and he then dropped into my message again and said, hey, just let me know how you get on with the book. Also, additionally, I'm actually going to be in town. Like, he was going to be physically in our location in about a couple of weeks' time. I'd love to invite you to this event as my personal guest. And all of a sudden, I'm now feeling very, very special. But he also understood that third principle. So you've got basically show respect, then add value. Then the third principle is get them off LinkedIn. Like any social media platform, you do not want to just continually engage in that platform. You want to take them out and have a relationship with them so that you're not dependent on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, etc. So in this case, he was like, I'm going to invite you personally to an event. In other cases, I've seen this done really well of, hey, I'm running this webinar. I'd love to get you in there and get your feedback on it. And immediately then they're registering for your webinar. You've got, they're seeing you, they're engaging with you, all this kind of thing, and you can have further conversations with them. So those are the three principles. And then the last piece is you have to ask them something. So you actually have to get them to convert. So for you guys, one of my key things I would do is, your first thing is you're researching. So like I said, you can kind of get in, find out where your potential customers, your ideal customers are engaging, find out the content they're consuming, find out the comments that they're doing. I would then connect with them, add value to them long before you try and sell them anything there. And then I would start to tailor some of your content, because LinkedIn's very much about content. So I would start to tailor some content marketing around those specific kind of issues, specific things they're looking at. So if they're looking to add, make additional money, I would start writing articles around different ways that you can make additional income, or different ways you can have a side hustle, or different ways that you can leave your corporate life and kind of semi-retire for a little work. All of these are kind of things that you want to do. And you don't just want it to be a giant sales pitch for what you're selling. You want to give them different options in there, but obviously make your option the most, the sweetest, the best, and those kind of things. So, and then when they engage on that, again, you can have that two-way dialogue, and you can actually earn the right to have a proper conversation with them. So,
yeah, no,
yeah,
that's
it's pretty.
good. I love it with that you kind of break it down into a simple formula, and I'm gonna kind of convert it to ACS speak for just a minute, because we've got some of the
yeah.
So what you said initially, there's no conversion required. So obviously you have an account with LinkedIn. Don't know how many of you have got an account, but have an account with LinkedIn and see who's who in the zoo, who's engaging with the different content that make money online, that kind of thing. So they are your target. Remember to go after the right sort of nationalities as well, people that you can actually work with long term.
Very important. Yeah.
And in terms of value, we've got a special resource. It's called Bonus Monkey, where we put 20.
By the way, I love the name. Yeah.
So you guys, because a lot of the guys are going to be busy. They don't know how to, you mentioned to them writing articles, writing ebooks, writing white papers, videos. They're going to turn off. But they don't have to do that, because they can just get into Bonus Monkey. There's some amazing resources there, 20 resources every month. This is where we do, video tutorials, ebooks,
Yeah.
Software, lead generation software. You have that engagement. So possibly that could be like a halfway house. Of course, it's always best to have your own because it's got your name on it and everyone kind of, worships you because you got your own content and all that. But if you don't have the time or the nous to create massive amounts of software videos and so on, get into Bonus Monkey, and that's your lead magnet. That's your value add, as Vince was saying.
Yeah. There is a way, I'll just caveat there is a way to actually make that your own without kind of cheating, essentially.
Yeah.
So if you've got a resource that's on Value Monkey, if you've got a resource that's on there where you think this is really powerful and it's going to speak directly to my target market, there's a way you can frame that on LinkedIn to go, hey guys, I've been reading this article, I've been watching this video around this and this. Here are kind of key highlights. Does anyone want to access to the full thing, or does anyone want to know more about this? I actually ask questions, but be a human being. Don't come in salesy. Just have it like you were just pondering or going, hey, I've just been reading this. It's amazing. I know people that their entire content marketing strategy is literally reading other people's articles and then going, hey, I was reading this article on X, Y, Z. Here's my main takeaways from that. What do you guys think? Does anyone want to access the full article? And they get positioned as a thought leader, despite the fact all they're doing is regurgitating everyone else's content. So it works, trust me.
Absolutely. Good. All right. So we said number one is research and respect, right? Research and respect of the person's time, and don't just look at them as a dollar sign. I mean, they're human beings like us. They've got families, they've got needs, desires, all that kind of thing. And then make contact by adding value. So having a bit of a conversation. Hey, I see you're from, I don't know, Birmingham. I see you from Birmingham. Did you know I'm from Watford, UK? I'm only 100 miles down the road, whatever. Like, have a chat.
But do think about, because we can get in our own heads around these kind of things. One of the things to remember is you've always got to put yourself in the mind. This is why I call it thinker-graphics. Put yourself in the mind of the person you're engaging with.
Yeah.
Because you've got to make sure there's this whole thing about mental bandwidth. So if somebody comes to you, and you'll see this at parties, the great analogy is parties, right? If someone comes up to you at parties and says, hey, how's it going? I love your top. It's awesome. Where'd you get that? That's the kind of thing that you can answer really, really easily.
Yeah.
Or it's a kind of thing where, it might not be relevant to where you're leading the conversation, which is a bit of a problem, but at least you've got something to engage on there. Yeah. But often we come in a little hot and heavy and we go out and go, hey, what's the 3 biggest problems you've got with your business right now? Or, oh, hi, tell me, I'm from blah, blah, you're from blah, blah. Tell me about that. It's like immediately that feels like so much effort to me.
Yeah.
And think about if someone was to ask you that, that you don't really know, how would you respond to that question? Would you just look at it and go, oh, too hard, can't be asked? Yeah. Or would you look at it and go, oh, that's really easy, I can respond to that, and you're interested,
So what about finding something that you like about that person and just give them a genuine compliment, like
as long as it's authentic, then
without being smarmy, So hey, I love your profile. I think your profile is really cool. Or, so you work for, I don't know, you work for Cigna. I heard that's an amazing company. They're in the news at the moment, or just something. I don't know, just as you would with a stranger on a bus. That kind of thing.
If you've ever seen the I don't even know, I was going to call them street urchins. They're not really street urchins. All the people that ask for money on the street. We have it over here. You'll walk down and it's got Red Cross, Doctors Without Borders, all these people, and they train them in a specific way. And they're usually a bunch of international students or international kind of backpackers who want to earn some extra money. So what they teach them is they go up in the street and they go, hey, I like your hair. Where'd you get it done? And immediately the person that they said that to just goes, piss off. Who do you think you are? Or, hey, I love your shoes. And you go, I know what you're doing. You are feeling really disingenuous, So to just make sure you've got that kind of authenticity lens on it, and try and make it relevant. So rather than go, hey, I love the shirt in your profile, I would go something along the lines of, hey, I was just looking through your profile. I noticed that you did this and this. That's fantastic. I've been a huge fan of that for many years. Totally agree with you on your points here, and just want to say thanks. So that immediately makes them go, oh, okay, they agree with me. They show me respect,
Or possibly even you might do it a bit of a tongue in cheek, because everyone knows that ultimately we're trying to sell, right? I mean, let's put it this way. I mean, if someone sends you a DM, 9 out of 10, they're not just going to do it because they have spare time and they have nothing else to do, right? They're out to sell. So what you could do is maybe, hey mate, I love that little article you wrote. And I would love to. I don't know. Just you just put it out there. So there's
Yeah.
no like dicking around. Like so that's
I've actually seen a really good example of this, Dan, where somebody reached out to me and they said, "Hey Vince, how you going?" Blah blah blah. They did a little bit of the small talk and they go, "Just to let you know, I'm totally going to be selling you something soon. But before that, I thought it's a bit rude if I don't get to know you a little bit better." I
exactly.
chuckled and went, "You know what? I'll give them the time of day." I thought it was quite refreshing. So,
Yeah.
and there was an expectation that they are going to sell me something. I see this with webinars a lot where the bad webinars, they'll go into detail on what they're trying to teach you, what they're trying to impart to you, how they're trying to add value to you, and then suddenly it shifts into this, and by the way, I've got this program, I've got this course, I've got this product, I've got this blah blah blah, and you're like, whoa whoa whoa, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
Whereas a good webinar host will actually start by going, guys, here's what we're going to do today. I'm going to cover off this and this and this. I'm going to be teaching you how to do this, which is going to add a lot of value. Now, I am going to be selling you something at the end. So if you're interested, I'd love you to stick around. But I know the reason I'm doing this is because I know it's going to add value to you. But anyway, and then you just kick into it. So actually setting the expectations going to be selling can work really, really well. I
Yeah.
will say that I have had, when we talk about LinkedIn direct messaging, there's one example there where it was one of the worst ones I've ever seen, but I almost engaged with it. And I wish I had taken a screenshot of it because unfortunately the person's account's been deactivated now for very good reason. But I got this direct message from someone saying his name was Professor Reginald von Winkelberger or something. And I'm like, well, first of all, awesome, totally fake, but awesome. And he reached out to me and he said, I would like to personally invite you into the Illuminati. And I'm like, okay. Like, part of me is going, I know this is BS. Like, obviously, this is BS. This is just someone trying to spam me. And this is going to turn into some kind of thing where, hey, register on this website and put your credit card details in. And then, oh, my accounts are drained. But there was part of me that goes, what if this is real? Or this is really funny and I really want to see where this plays out. Sometimes you can get creative, but obviously don't take it to the extreme like this guy. I didn't engage with him in the end. And like I said, his account got deactivated, but it was hilarious. And the best part about it was I was literally, I do a lot of digital marketing training for like Autodesk and 3ds Max and a lot of like Adobe and all these kind of companies. And I was just about to do a LinkedIn session with the guys from Autodesk. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is perfect. This is literally perfect. I can use this as a case study in there as well. So it was amazing. But just it's not that hard. Like honestly, we make too much out of it. You'll see people try and sell you scripts or this is how you should engage with people on LinkedIn. This is the process you need to go through. And there is a way to do it. But the reality is just treat them like a human being. Put yourself in their shoes and go, what would it be like if I got this message? Like, am I being authentic? Am I being genuine? Am I adding value? If the answer is no to any of those three, rethink it before you engage with them. But if you act like a human and you network with them, like you're face to face and you're adding value to them, they will most often respond. So,
Nice one.
yeah.
All right. So if we were to recap the formula, so a bit of research, showing respect,
Yep.
reaching out to people, trying to add value,
Yep.
knowing
And take them
that
offline.
ultimately they're going to know that we're selling to them, but just being a nice person, adding a bit of value, and then ultimately some sort of a action. So in our case, we've got live webinars. So what we say is if you can get people on the live webinars, that's perfect.
Yep.
If you can't, just drop them a video. We've got some nice intro videos. Drop them a video about, this is affiliate marketing. Did you know that people make really good money with this? Here's a video to watch, and then possibly come back a couple of days later, have a chat to them. There is no skirting around this selling thing. I mean, that's just going to happen. No, it is what it is. So,
totally. And the webinar is a really good example, by the way, because one of the things I would recommend, because you'll see this a lot, and this is the jarring effect. I always think, how is this conversation going? What are the points that make them go, whoa, what just happened? So one of those is if you're going through this whole process, you're engaging with them, you're having this two-way dialogue, and then you're like, hey, there's a webinar you should attend, and you click, send them the link to that. Immediately they go, what just happened there? I thought we were in relationship. So one of the keys to do, which is what that guy did to me, was go, hey, we've got this thing coming up. I'd love to personally invite you to that. Would you like to join me in there?
Perfect.
And the key is, even if they don't even know if you're in there in reality, like if it's a webinar, they may not see comments or anything, but the key thing is there, it's you're doing it with them. And it's something that is between the two of you. So it's really important. But taking them offline, the webinars, brilliant way to do that. Really, really cool. The other thing so that's the kind of formula. The other thing I will say though, is that is like the kind of method that we've described here is a proactive way of going out and finding leads and bringing those leads into your funnel essentially. But there is another way that you need to do this. And this is something that most people seem to miss on LinkedIn and actually on Facebook, funny enough, is your personal profile is really powerful.
Yes.
Because if people are looking at your profile, the first thing they're looking at, what do you do? And how do I engage with you? So make every opportunity, like make sure in your LinkedIn profile, you have a kind of about section on there, right? It shows on your profile itself. So make sure you're utilizing that. Make sure you're making it really clear there what you do and the value you add to different people. But also you'll see you've got your header image, you've got your little avatar. Underneath that, there's a little area there where you get, I think it's around 120 characters, maybe 150 characters. Utilize that section to say, reach out to me if you need this, or I would love to help you with XYZ, and leave a link there. Utilize that area to try and get them to proactively engage with you. And then also the other thing, by the way, go through your LinkedIn profile and look at all the fluff on there and remove it. Like some people treat their LinkedIn profile as a CV, which is great. It can perform that function. But if you're using LinkedIn to sell, don't put in there that you did a high school paper round, or don't put in there that you still used to deliver milk or anything like make sure the things that are in there are relevant to who you're trying to target and to what they will need from you. And then the other thing, oh man, I'm on so many rants now about LinkedIn. Okay, so the other thing here, you've got a header image, utilize that, right? Don't just put some, background, which is your cityscape or something like that. Actually use that to show you in action or to add some personality to you. Could be you with your family, or you, out on the farm or with a dog, or I don't know what you guys do. Like for me, it's me sitting there. Literally is a photo of me coaching a bunch of people on Zoom. And then the other thing is your avatar. This is absolutely critical. Avoid all the kind of usual tropes around that. So a lot of people will put a picture of them with their dog or a picture of them and their family. No, that is you. It is a photo of you. It is mostly your face. Like treat it like it's a passport photo, essentially, right? Make it your face, show a bit of personality in there. And don't have it so that when they're looking at it, they can't even see who you are. They're like, that's someone on the beach walking their dog. No. Make sure they can clearly see you. Make sure you're looking at them. There's a whole pile of psychology around looking at people's eyes. Like when you are looking at a photo and you see their eyes, you're more engaged with that image. You're more engaged with that profile, and you feel like you're being watched, which is actually a really good thing in this case.
Yeah.
And then also add your personality. Like for me, on Facebook, on Instagram, on every platform, I use the same kind of photo because I want that congruency across all my platforms. And it's a very professional photo of me. I'm wearing a sports coat and a shirt. I've got my big cheesy grin on. But on LinkedIn, I break the rules and I deliberately make it a silly photo of me going like this. And I'm in a shirt. I still look professional. But it's because I wanted to break the paradigm that has to be 100% professional on LinkedIn. I wanted a little bit of my personality to shine through for them. So, but yeah, utilize your personal profile. Like seriously, that's where people go. That's what they look at before they engage with you. So you might as well make that really, really clear how you add value to people and what it is you do.
You've just given me a really good idea, actually. This is something I saw someone else. We had another guest
Yeah.
on the podcast, and what she has is her Calendly link.
Yes.
And that's perfect. The only problem with LinkedIn is you can't have a clickable URL, as far as I remember. You can
No, you
have it
can.
in the
Yeah.
bios below, right? All the links below, but the main one just below the image. I don't think you can have a clickable link, which is it's a bit of a drag. But I suppose you can just copy and paste it, couldn't you?
You can.
Yeah.
You actually there's ways that you can deal with this. So on your personal profile, I'm just looking at my personal profile now just to double check. You can have your contact section and things as well. But the other thing is you can set up a company for what you're doing. You can set up all those kind of things. You can actually put a little URL there. It may not be clickable, but it's really easy for them to get to. So yeah, there's different ways around this as well. Or you can actually put a call to action in there going, hey, go and check out you can take them off there and go and check out my Facebook profile. That'll really pay off LinkedIn. And then put a clickable link in your Facebook profile.
Shadow ban you.
Yeah. I have my URL in my banner image. So my banner image, it's cheesy photo of me going, coaching all my clients. And then I say, you want an unfair advantage for your business? Talk to me today about how you can attract the clients you want with a lot less effort. And then there's a link to my website there as well. So
nice one.
Yeah.
Quite good. That was loads and loads of value. Let's take a couple of questions, see if we've got anything coming from the audience. We've had people show up, which is great. So Nat needs to leave.
Okay, Nat, we'll give you permission to leave. There you go. That was an easy one to answer.
Jeffrey says that's the worst when they say just say hi. I'd rather say practically anything
Oh,
else.
yep,
So,
yep.
he's
It,
kind of
it really, it's my pet peeve, man. Like, honestly, sometimes if they come in hard and hot and they've got their big sales message, I'll actually respond to them, but just explaining that that's a bad way to do it. But when they just try and engage with you with a hi, how are you, or how's your day, or how's your business, I'm like, I'll block them in some cases. That really irritates me. Shows how childish I am, by the way.
we've actually got a few comments, but I can't see them all. I can only see 4, and we've got 8, I think. So if you've got a question, boys and girls, can you just drop it in the comment section, because I can't see them, unfortunately. I might be able to on the phone. In fact, I might just reach out to the phone. It's one of them little foibles that you get with Facebook Live. They have a
oh yes, well versed in those. By the way, despite being a technology guy, like I was actually trained as an electronics computer engineer, and then software engineer and audio engineer. So my background's all in engineering and technology. My first ever Facebook Live, I did about 20 minutes of it with no sound whatsoever.
Oh,
Good old Facebook that basically changed the microphone from the one I use to one I haven't used in years, and that somehow made it my default. So, and I couldn't see any of the comments, so it was very, very embarrassing.
I know that feeling very well.
Yeah.
Usually I'm just kind of staring at the camera, waiting for it to load up. So you get this kind of awkward, like 2 minutes, just staring, and everyone's
They do this on the news, by the way. This is one of the things I love. You'll see lots of nodding on the news when they cross live to somebody, and it's because there's this big propagation delay that can be up to 5 seconds. So the reporters on the other end go, like they go, what do you think about that, Dan? And you'll be there going, well, that's a good question. It's just a great way to do it. Otherwise, you just stare into space or pick your nose or whatever and go, are we live? Are we live? Yeah. They've learned that now.
Well, I see the comments are just kind of, hi, Dan and Vince, glad to be on the call. Join LinkedIn today. Roger. So Roger's taking action.
Cool. Nice work, Roger.
Good. Roger's in there. And we had Jeffrey's comment about the comment and the fact that, you shouldn't just say hi. Robert's going to have to watch a recording later. Diane's made it, and Nat's going to have to shoot off. So we got a whole bunch of little comments, but no specific questions. But that's fine.
That's all right.
So Vince,
one thing I will say to all you guys though is like I said, I love helping people. So if any of you are wondering about your LinkedIn profile, and you're going, I'm not sure that it's right, or you set it up and you're going, I'm not sure if this is going to really clearly articulate what I'm trying to get across, just reach out. I do these reviews all the time for free. So if anyone needs any help around that, I'm always available. I'm on LinkedIn, funny enough. You can drop me a DM. Just don't say, hi, how are you? So, yeah.
No, I mean, that was going to be sort of my question, is if people want to get hold of you, how can they? And also, by the way, I recommend that you join the group, and maybe if you comment in the comments that they're going to have your URL in there, like your profile, so they can just reach out to you if they want. But generally, if you don't do that, I mean, how do they get hold of you?
I make that super easy. There's 2 very clear ways. One is LinkedIn. I'm always checking my messages on there. But the other one is just go to chasingtheinsights.com. So that is my website for everything. So my podcast is there, my book's there. You'll see links to my Facebook group, to how you can connect with me on social. But like I said, I'm one of those people. I have this weird, oversharing here for a moment. I have this weird genetic disorder. So it's actually a mutated gene that means I only sleep 4 hours a night.
Ooh.
Right. So now that turns out to be incredibly handy when you're based in New Zealand, and most of your clients are in the US, Canada, and the UK. So basically that means I'm always online. So I'd love to jump on calls with people, reach out on social, ask me questions. I'm always keen to help people. So so anyway, chasingtheinsights.com, LinkedIn. I'm pretty easy to get a hold of, guys.
Nice one.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So unless you've got any more questions, Vince, thank you so much. Great value there. Guys,
thank you for having me, Dan. Yeah.
Take action. All of this is worth nothing unless you actually go out, create a profile on LinkedIn, make it look gorgeous, and then follow the 3 steps that Vince has mentioned today. So with that said, Vince, thank you so much again. And speak soon. Bye.
Cool. Cheers, Dan.